Thank you for turning up today. The whole point of today for me isn't talking about getting sober or why I want to get sober or how brilliant being sober is. It's about what next, really, because we do a lot of oh, it's really great, sober's fantastic, all the rest of it. And it's so important for all the new people to hear that. But then we all trundle along for a bit and we sometimes have a dip or we have a what next? Or what am I going to do with my life now I don't drink? Isn't it going to be terrible? So, a bit of today really was to talk about what you do next with your life and how it's going to be. So, what I would say to anybody that's vaguely new or anybody that is new or anybody that's going through a bit of a down phase is that your life is going to change and you're going to stop thinking about drinking. Because at the moment, when you're newly sober or when you're trying to get sober, drinking takes up so much of our headspace, tons and tons of it. It's a complete pain in the arse. And we wonder if it's ever going to get any better. Are we ever be able to walk in a pub with a friend and not be wanting a drink? Are we ever going to go to that first wedding reception and not think about champagne? Are we going to have a roast meal and want a red wine? All these things, worry. And at 6.5, creeping up to 7 years sober, it'll be 7 years in September, I can honestly tell you that it becomes just not a thing. I don't drink. I don't long to drink. I don't dream about drinking. I don't go into pubs and wish I was having a drink. Drinking just becomes something you don't do. It's not who you are. And it really does become a little thing in your life. And actually, what you need to do is make your life bigger and better. And then drinking gets even more shrunken into the background. And if you are worrying about, will I ever stop wanting to drink? You will get there. But you have to do a bit of work. Nothing's ever free in this life. There's no free ticket to anything. So if you want a nice life, you've got to get off your arse and you've got to make a nice life. You've got to do different things. So I want to ask you all a question, and I want you to really think about this. We all get one wild and precious life. I can't remember whose quote that is. Janet will perhaps remember and put it in the chat. But we all get one wild and precious life. And what are you going to do with yours? Because that's the critical thing to having a good life when you're sober, is working out what you want to do with your life. Are you going to get new hobbies? Are you going to have new horizons? Will you have new relationships in terms of friends and things you do? And particularly, will you have a new relationship with yourself? And that's the thing I think that's most important. So what I'm going to ask you to do as you go forward and as you get more sobriety under your belt is I want you to start listening to the universe, because the universe chucks tons of stuff at us that we can do or might want to do or things to think about. But most of the time, we blot it all out. We don't listen to our intuition. We don't listen to our gut feel. We don't see the things that are presented to us as opportunities. We just don't, I don't know how I would say, we're just not looking for them. So we don't see them. So you've got to start looking for them. So my challenge for you all the next week, the next month, the next year, the next 10 years is to start saying yes to some things and start saying no to some other things. And I'm sorry, Janet, I will get to the Pete Wesley way, but I just thought I'll just do a little bit of a start of this. So I want you to say yes to things that make you feel slightly uncomfortable, things that stretch your boundaries, your comfort zones, things that make your heart pound a little bit or make you slightly anxious, because those things will make you grow. And the more you grow, the more your comfort zone stretches, the more enjoyable things you'll do. And I particularly want you to say no to things you really don't want to do, but you just do to people please, or say no to, oh, I could just sit on my arse and watch the telly tonight or play on my phone when you could be doing something different. So say yes to opportunities and to things that make you feel slightly, oh, that's a bit scary. Should I do it? And say no to things that are just dragging you down, things you don't want to do, things that sort of keep you small. And a couple of years, beginning of 2024, I did a visioning workshop with Lynette, and we had to do a little vision board, and this was my little vision board. And on this vision board, there were some things up here, and one of which was a shepherd's hut. And I have just finally got my perfect shepherd's hut. So that was one thing. The other thing on here, we had to come up with a song, and that was called Stairway to Heaven, or I chose Stairway to Heaven as my song. And on my Pete Wesley Way walk, my pilgrimage I've just done, I actually came across a Stairway to Heaven. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little while. 𝐸𝐵 Way. Excuse me. There's a little bit of background to this. Sometime last year, I woke up one day and my brain said to me, this is about listening to the universe. My brain said to me, go and walk a Camino. I'm like, what's a Camino? Never heard of a Camino. Didn't know anything about it. But off I went and Googled it and found out that a Camino is Camino in Spanish. Rosal, correct me if I'm wrong, it means the way. And the Caminos in Spain go to Santiago de Compostela, which is a pilgrimage route for St. James in the Catholic Church, because his bones are supposed to be buried there. And these pilgrim routes have been going throughout Spain and France and Europe and coming from England to this particular place in Spain for hundreds and hundreds of years, since the 1200s or maybe earlier. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I thought, what's this all about? And then the one that everybody's heard about, the French way, is about 500 miles. You walk from France to this particular bit of Spain. And I said, shit, I can't do that. That was my no. I was like, oh, this is too scary. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to walk 500 miles? I can't walk 5 freaking miles, let alone 500 miles. So I thought there must be another way of doing it. And so I did a bit more investigating and I found there was an English way, where the English used to get in a big tall ship, sail to Spain, and then they would trundle down to Santiago de Compostela. And that was only about, 70, 80 miles. I thought, oh, that's going to be good. That'll be good for me. I can do 70 or 80 miles probably, whereas trying to get 3 months off work and not work, off home and away from my husband, probably not going to, and away from my animals, I probably couldn't do that. So the next thing I was thinking, oh, I've got to do this on my own. I'm a bit shit scared doing things on my own like that. And as Janet knows, trying to get me out of my chair and abroad is quite challenging. I phoned up my best friend from school and said, I'm going to do this walk. Will you come with me? Do you want to do it? And she went, yeah, of course I will. Now, my friend Val, when she left university, she got a plane ticket to, I don't know where it was, somewhere. I think she went to Egypt and then off to Australia. She went round the world for a year, backpacking in the 80s with her boyfriend. And she ended up spending 4 years. I thought, she's going to be a great person to go and do this Camino with. So she signed up to it. So we thought, we'll give ourselves a little bit of time to lose some weight. I haven't done that yet. To get a bit fitter. I haven't done that yet. And get ourselves ready. And we're aiming for June. We're going to do this Camino walk in June. That's the plan. And then I did a bit of internet searching and found this group in Manchester that were running a Couch to Camino class, a Zoom class. So I signed up for that. And to cut a very long story short, they said, we're doing the 𝐸𝐵 Way, which is in Derbyshire on my doorstep. And it's just under 50 miles. And that's after we've done all the talkies and the preparation, we're going to go and do that walk. This last week, I've walked the 𝐸𝐵 Way. You stay in Methodist chapels. It was a 6-day walk and they talked about doing it in 4 days, but we didn't actually do that. There's no way I could have done. So I went and did this walk and we've had the most amazing sunshine. It's been wonderful. The scenery's been amazing. Just sleeping in a room with a small room, a church with camp beds and lots of other people has been an experience. I haven't done that since I was a kid. It's all a bit, this is a bit odd, but I've really enjoyed doing this walk and what am I trying to say? The emotion and feel and the pride in myself I feel for having achieved it, because I didn't know that I would. I thought I might end up getting a blister and bailing out or whatever. Getting up, walking every day for 8 to 10 miles, carrying a rucksack full of stuff because you're living out of a bag on your back. Wearing pants for 2 days rather than having clean pants every day. Now, for the Americans amongst us, that's knickers. It's why would you do that? Anyway, so it's been quite an experience, but I have done it. And it's really hit me how very much sobriety has set me up for this journey, because we can apply our sobriety journey to anything we want to do in life. So what you're doing now, if you crack this sobriety journey, anything you want to achieve, anything you want to do, anything you're having trouble with, you can apply the same tools and rules and you'll be able to do it. We can do hard things. That's the thing that's hit me really with this walk. We can do hard things. We tend to live in our comfort zones, which is what I said at the start, but stretch your boundaries, push your comfort zones. The worst thing you can do is not achieve what you wanted. And you learn from that. So you can have another go if you want to, or you could say, no, it wasn't for me. And so when we want to do hard things, how do we do it? We do it one step at a time. We break things down into smaller chunks. We break them down into easier doing things. Sobriety's taught me this. I don't have to be sober forever. I only have to be sober for the next drink. I don't even have to do a day. If I can do a day, it's great. But if I can't do a day, all I've got to do is say no to the next drink. I've only got to be sober for the next minute, the next 5 minutes, and then keep repeating. And that was what I found with this walk. You're doing the same thing day in, day out. The scenery changes, the challenges change, the company changes. I went with an interesting group of people, 3 people that were experienced Camino walkers and 3 people that were wanting to do a Camino. So Camino virgins, we'd never done it. And we all swapped around. We talked to different people. After 2 days, they realised Val and I were a bit slow and we got left on our own more. But it was great because we were having to do all the navigating ourselves. So we were learning new skills. We were becoming more resilient. And this is what happens when you build your sobriety. You build your confidence. You go and try different things. You learn new skills so you cope. So the Camino that I'm hoping to do, this Peak Wedley Way that I've just done, and sobriety are all very similar. But we have to choose growth over comfort. That's the biggie. One of my biggest takeaways. We've got to choose growth over comfort because if we want to grow, we're going to get growing pains. So by doing something that's a bit challenging, it's a lot easier not to do it, but go for it. Because the worst that's going to happen is you're not going to succeed. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because you're going to learn and you can do it again, as I've said, or not as you choose. And the other thing that sobriety teaches you, and this pilgrim walk for me has taught me, is to develop my self-reliance, to start to trust myself, to have pride in achieving things. I'm like a dog with 3 dicks for having done this walk because 50-mile walk for me, I used to do that sort of thing in my 20s, not when I'm 60. I didn't have particularly good kit because I didn't want to buy loads of stuff in case I didn't want to do this. We weren't going to go to Spain in June. But what it's done, it's made us realise what we needed to learn, what we need to do differently, how we would do the next step, what challenges we're going to face in Spain. And waking up on this walk, after we'd all been to the pub at night, some of the guys that we walked with, they were, we finished the walk, let's have a pint. Val was on soda and lime, I was on fizzy water with a slice of orange, and they were drinking a bit. And I was thinking, oh gosh, I'm a bit dehydrated. Why would I want to drink? And then we'd all go and we'd sort ourselves out of the chapel and we'd go back to a pub or somewhere to eat, and they'd be drinking again. And quite often we'd have a meal and then trundle back to the church, and a few of them would sit around, have a few more drinks. And I was thinking, how grateful I was that actually I was waking up in the morning without a hangover. I can't imagine doing the walking with a hangover. Now, maybe they didn't get hangover. I don't know. But you're never quite on par if you're drinking. So I was just grateful that I wasn't drinking. I was grateful for everybody's time and effort and putting into me and running this course. I was grateful for the beautiful weather that we had. The last day that we did was it was only 5 miles, but we walked up a place called Mantor, it's 520 meters above sea level. And that was a hell of a walk for me. That was a hell of a walk because climbing uphill and downhill, I have dodgy knees. So downhill particularly puts a lot of strain on my already slightly rubbish knees. But when I got to Mantor, because it gets so much wear, they've stone paved, but it's not like paving, not normal paving cement stones. They're stone flags that go up to Mantor. And when I was saying about Stairway to Heaven, I'll have to put the picture on, I might see if I can find it on my phone, but I was looking up and all I could see were these stone flags just going off up to the clouds, up to infinity. And it was absolutely amazing. And my sort of head said, my God, that's the Stairway to Heaven, Lucy. And that sort of closed the circle with my visioning exercise from last year. And then that taught me a new skill because then I thought, I went on ChatGPT and I asked it to write me a poem and it wrote me a brilliant poem. I'm like, so I'll share my poem as well. But there's so many things that we can do. And if we have the courage to try things, we can be excited and we can be happy and we can learn and we can grow. And that's what this journey is all about. Nobody's getting out of here alive. At some point, we're all going to call it a day and what do you want people to say at your funeral? That sounds really awful, doesn't it, saying that? But there was a bit on the Peak Pilgrim Way that went up to Mantor, and they called it the Coffin Road because they used to carry coffins from one town up this way along this road into another one because there wasn't a church in the one little village. And I was struggling walking up the damn thing, let alone having to carry somebody in a coffin. But I've lost my train of thought now. What was the point of that? What was I saying then? Oh, no, it's gone. It's gone. Never mind. So yeah, we can do all these. We can do these things. And I know. I was saying none of us are going to get out of here alive. And what would you want? What would you want on at your funeral? What would you like your epitaph to be? Epitaph? No, that's what you write on your stone, isn't it? What do they call it? Eulogy.
Eulogy.
Is it a eulogy? Yeah, thanks, Janet. What would you like people to say about you? What would you like to say about yourself? Who would you have liked to be? Because now that you're getting sober, you can think a bit more about these things and you can actually write your own eulogy rather than somebody having to think about something for you. So, what would you want people to have thought about you? What would you want to have achieved with your life? Who would you want to become and be? And we've all got that opportunity. And the beautiful thing for me about Tribe Sober is that we have a community. Now, there's people on here. I didn't want to dump loads of stuff on lots and lots of groups about me doing my walk, but Ross has been following my little journey. And it's just nice saying, look, I don't like this. Oh, look at me. I feel a bit embarrassed about that. But sometimes it's nice to share things. So do something brilliant and share it with the groups and let people rejoice in it because it's inspiring for others to see what you are achieving with your lives. And if you hang around, once you get yourself sober, you'll get an awful lot back. I really want to just say thank you for coming in to listen to me babble today. And I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. So I hope this hasn't been too disjointed. But I want to inspire you to become the best person you can be and to have the best life that you can. And the biggest trick in doing that is getting sober. And that sobriety tool and all the things you're using to cope with life and deal with life without drinking, you can apply them to anything else that's going on in your life. And it's a very special thing to have. And it'll never leave you either. Whatever happens with you, you'll always have that resilience. You'll always have that self-trust. You'll always have that pride in yourself because you can do tough things. Get out there and live a good life. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Let me